But to start us off, why don't you give us essentially what a definition of an entactogen is?
Sure. So entactogen is a term that David Nichols came up with for the class of molecules that includes MDMA, and it means generating touching within. And he named it that because MDMA and related molecules don't really seem like classical psychedelics where there's a sense of maybe transcendence. Instead, what MDMA seems to do really well is allow you to almost like be more naturally yourself. And people often describe feeling less self-critical and less neurotic. And it's almost as if they're kind of taking off their psychic armor and just relaxing into who they are. And it seems like this type of experience can be very helpful for accelerating psychotherapy and doing personal work and having realizations and things, in part because it makes you less avoidant. And so people are able to think about things that they normally find upsetting and that normally they kind of keep on the edges of their consciousness. But when they're in this state induced by this class of medicine, they're able to just, honestly look at the truth of the matter. And for many people, that can allow them to process things and, move forward and get unstuck. Pharmacologically, MDMA and other entactogens work very differently from psychedelics, whereas psychedelics are molecules that are agonists, that is, they stimulate the 5-HT2A receptor, a subtype of serotonin receptor. MDMA and related molecules seem to more work by causing increased extracellular levels of serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine. And not to say that there isn't a little tiny bit of overlap in terms of how the molecules might feel. Some people might say that, 2CB, which is a psychedelic in lower doses, feels a bit like MDMA. And probably the reason for that is that when MDMA is releasing serotonin, it's going on to stimulate various serotonin receptors. And some of those receptors are ones that 2CB is hitting directly. And so that's probably why there's a bit of an overlap there.